Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Hope everyone's well. Today I'm going to paint a loose and fun hanging basket painting. It's going to be just an excuse for splashing paint around in a kind of random way. Now I'm using a piece of, this is Bockingford, I think. Doesn't really matter what it is, but it could be Arches, it could be Bockingford, Strathmore, doesn't matter. It's £140 watercolour paper. This one is about 8 by 12 or something like that inches in size, so just over A4 or letter size, thereabouts. You can go bigger if you want. If you use a bigger brush, you'll want to go bigger. And I've done a background on this, which you can see something similar to this if you watch some of the videos that we've already got up that have got backgrounds. But literally all I did was wet the paper and drop in some very light washes of Potter's Pink and Naples Yellow, this was. And it's very light. When it's completely dry, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to just draw a very quick guideline, which I've already sketched out, but I'll go over it for you. I start with the basket here. And then I've taken a triangle up like that, which is the, what do you call it, the strings or the chains or whatever it is that holds it to the support, which is like this. And then there's a pole coming down here. And then the other one, I've done it face on, so we've got the basket there. And then I just indicate the position of the flowers just with a sketchy line like that to show us where to go. And I'm going to make this one hang down a really long way, because I want it to fill this area of the paper. And I haven't drawn the support for that one just to make it easier. You can imagine it's face on and you can't see it. All you can see is part of the chain going up like that to hold the basket in place. So it's a very expressive, very semi-abstract kind of thing. Nothing particularly difficult about this painting. I'm sure you can just, whatever... I don't know how to put this. Just let it go. Let go with the flow. Go with the flow. So flowers are a lovely mixture of colours we want. We want some reds. I've got cadmium red. I've got cadmium orange, quinacridone gold, lemon yellow. I think this is cadmium yellow. This is, what do you call it? This is just yellow medium, I think. That's from Old Holland. This is cobalt blue. This is another one of those, something similar. This, I think, is Gamboge and sap green, and that's probably enough to be going on with. So let's get started. Now, the way I'm going to start this is I'm going to splash some water onto the areas where I'm going to put the paints. I'm going to start with that one. First of all, just some dots. I'm not going to make it completely sopping wet. There's more than one way of doing this. So it's entirely up to you whether you follow my lead or whether you go about it in your own way or whether you don't do it at all. Come to that. No rules here. This is a size 7 round synthetic watercolour brush, and I am going to drop in plenty of yellow, because where it reaches into the red, it's going to make orange, so that would be quite nice. I don't know whether I'm going to even use all of these colours, but, and I've got some red here, which is, this is core, I think, so we can expect some violent explosions when we use that. Let me just try that one out. Yeah, that might be quite nice. Yes, you see what I mean about the violent explosions? It just explodes. Wherever there's water or any other colour of paint, it just explodes, which is quite nice, actually. Just drop that in, and it's changing the yellow into orange, like we said. would happen. Leave some spaces between your colours so that you can put the leaves in and so that there will be a bit of light. Okay. Always think about your painting as being a pattern or a design. Well, that's what I do anyway, to try to make sure that it turns out looking like something you want to look at. Now, for the basket, I'm going to sort of, well, I think I might go for blue because it's a nice contrast. So we'll just, I'm not going to make a big deal of this basket. We'll just do it very roughly like that. And then I'm going to pick up some sap green. And these could be geraniums, couldn't they, here? So we'll just put in some geranium leaves. And I probably will come back with more yellow. Just using this one brush. I think we might want a touch more red here. And I'm not painting really, I'm just dabbing. And hoping for some shapes. Some nice shapes, so to speak. Okay, well, we'll let that bleed and do its thing before we do anything else to it, and we'll go down to the next one now. And same thing. You can use a bigger brush for this, for these water droplets if you want. And by the way, you don't have to have a background. You can just do it straight onto white paper, of course. But I kind of wanted to use this background because I made it and I did it on stretched paper, and it's stretched so tightly, the paper, that it's curved the board. So it's not ideal. And I put a piece of blue tack underneath it at the back there to stop it from wobbling backwards and forwards, which is what it was doing. I put plenty of yellow again. And of course, where you put the yellow over the background colour, it's going to change it slightly too. And I'll probably stick to the same red, since I used this core. I'll do the same again, I think. So that we keep a certain amount of colour harmony. But you could, if you wanted to, of course, choose a different red, or whatever turns you on, really. As we used to say when we were young. And then we'll pick up a bit of blue for the basket. And then we want to find some green. So I'm using sap green with a little bit of blue in it. And we just drop in some indications of leaves. If you're painting like this, you might not expect to produce a masterpiece. You might though, but it's good practice for brush control and water control. It's the sorts of things that we all struggle with. And drop in a bit more. I've gone to the cadmium red now because I don't think I really want as much spreading as you get with the core. It's nice for the undercoat, but a little less movement is probably a good thing when you do the second layer. And then I think I'll probably do the pole and the bracket in blue. I do this really super loose. Don't worry about painting the lines straight. A little bit of shadow on the top of the pole underneath where the flowers are, perhaps. And then we need to put in the wire or the chain or whatever it is. Now, don't want to make too big of a deal of that. So maybe I'll use what colour is that? Is that grey by any remote chance? Ah, that's ideal, I think. A grey felt tip pen, so we don't want that to be too obvious. I think that'll probably do. The thing is then it needs to dry completely and then you can rub out some of the pencil and you might want to put in a few extra details. I'm just going to add a little bit to the basket here, make that a little bit darker. Okay, so now we'll let that dry. Now, while it's still drying, I just want to put a little bit of spatter on. And I learned a lesson the other day, which involved the problem that you get when you put spatter on top of your painting. And you might not actually want it to bleed into what you've put underneath. So I'm just going to cover it up with some paper, and then I'm going to do the spatter. I'm going to do a bit of blue spatter, I think. It kind of gives the impression a little bit of a wall behind there. And when it's completely dry, we might touch up some of the flowers a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit more blue in the pole. Give it some nice texture. And then just a little bit more red. This one's lighter, and I think that's quite pretty, but it will dry lighter still, of course. So just add a little bit more. A little bit of orange, perhaps, just. Right, I'm going to stop there and let that dry properly, and we'll come back when it's dry. So there we are, that's done. I don't think there's anything else I want to do with that, really. It probably could take a little bit of fiddling with a little bit more green in some of the leaf areas and so on if you wanted to. But it's just an idea, and it could also be incorporated into another painting. You could have a doorway here, and I was just thinking it would be nice to paint flowers like this around a doorway, so we might do that soon too. So if you did enjoy it, give us a like and subscribe, please. Don't forget to go to our website and support us over there, where you can find lots and lots of free sketches, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. So I'll say bye-bye for now, and see you probably tomorrow. Bye now. So the first thing I'm going to do is just spray water lightly over my sheet of paper here, which is a stretched sheet of Bockingford watercolor paper. And if you don't know how to stretch paper, it's a skill well worth learning. And I do have a video which shows how to do that. If you just go to go to YouTube and then search Diane Antone Studio, and then all in one line on the search box, put Diane Antone Studio stretching paper, and you'll find the video there very easily. As indeed you'll find any video of mine if you just put Diane Antone Studio in the YouTube search and then the name that you think it would have, so like butterflies or whatever. So anyway, so that's now wet, and I'll just let that sink in a little bit, and I'll show you the three colours I'm going to use, which are this is Potter's Pink, and I'm just going to mix that up a little bit so that I've got a nice amount of paint there. And if you need to test the colour, it's I don't go in for the, well, it's thickness of light cream or it's the thickness of yogurt or whatever, because paints vary in how intense they are, regardless of the thickness of the mixture that you've made. So what you need to do is you need to find yourself a piece of scrap paper, a piece of watercolour paper that you have designated for the job of being scrap. And so when you think you might be close to what you want, you just try it out. And that's probably about right. Give it another quick swish. And I think that will probably be intense enough. Okay, that's for what I want. I think that will probably be fine. Then I've got two other colours I'm going to use, and one of them is, I've got a bit mixed up with some yellow there. I'll just clean that out of this little dish. This is Naples Yellow, which is an opaque yellow, quite a strong colour, so we won't need to dilute that. Sorry, we will need to dilute that quite a bit. So put plenty of water in there. And so that's that. And then the third one is this grey colour, which is Davies Grey. And it's got little lumps in it because I've cannibalised a pan. I've got a little, this is the only Davies Grey I've got, so I've dug a piece out using my paper knife, which is not sharp, so it didn't hurt me. So I've dug a bit of that out and put it in here, and then added water, and then I'm making myself a wash that I can use in the same way as if it was squeezed out of a tube. So that's that. So that's fine. So now we've got the Davies Grey, Naples Yellow and Potter's Pink, 3 soft colours. And this is probably okay to paint into now. And so what I'm going to do is just at random, pretty much at random, I'm going to drop these colours in and let them do their own thing. So I don't want a dark background for this. I just want a mixture of soft colours. Oh, I didn't mention the brush. This is a Ron Ranson Hake or Hake brush from Pro Art. They're very inexpensive, and if you haven't yet bought yourself any kind of wash brush for doing this kind of thing, then this is a very good option. So I'm just dropping in a bit more colour. I don't really want a right to left, what do you call it, bias to this. So I'm going to come back in from the other direction and repeat basically what I did. So put yellow where I put yellow. If you put the same colour everywhere, then you're going to end up just with complete grey. So drop in some more Davies Grey. And I'm running out of grey here. Let's use a bit more pink. There we are.